Welcome back, aliens. My name is Arun Reddy, and in this video, let's create an application to fetch the data from the cloud database. So basically, we are using DataStax Astra, where we have our database, right? So this is where you have your database, and then we already have a data. Now, I want to fetch that data from a Java application. So building a simple Spring Java application, and then we'll try to connect with the cloud database and we'll fetch the data. Of course, we can build a simple REST API, a web service, that works, right? Now, what type of data I'm trying to fetch? So in this database, if you try to see if you can open the console, we have some key spaces. In fact, I don't know if you have seen the last video, make sure that you have checked out the last video where we have installed a plugin for IntelliJ IDEA, the DataStax Astra plugin. And this is where you have your data, right? So the key space which we are using is this one, the Telusko key. And in this, you have this table called My Gadgets. In this, you have a key and a value columns. The first column is key. The second column is value. You have some values there, right? And example, if I want to fetch a mic, it should say Shure MV. If I say phone, it should say OnePlus. That's what we want. Nothing much, right? Cool. Now, in order to do that, we will be building an application. We'll not be using this Explorer here. Let's build an application and we'll fetch it. Now, first of all, I need a Spring application, right? How do you get a Spring application? It's very simple. You just go to start.spring.io, which is a Spring initializer, and you get a Spring project. You say, hey, I want a Maven project. Yes, Java 1, snapshot version. This should work, 2.6.5. I will say this is com.telusko. And the artifact is, let's say, Astra Java demo. And then I think it only works with 11. I've not tested with 8 and 17. Please let me know if you feel it's working in the comment section. But I will be going for 11. That's what I've tested. And then you have to add a dependency. Now, which dependency I want? Of course, we want Spring Web. So let's get that first. So we'll say Spring Web because we are building a web application. What else we need? We will need let me see if I can get that package from here. So we don't have that option. We'll see that option later. Do we need something else? I think this is good. Maybe we could have also get the dev tool, or maybe we'll run it. Just let's try to keep it as simple as possible. And when you click on generate, it will give you a project, and there we go. This is your project. Let me just unzip it. Okay, and you can see we got our project. Okay, so let's get started with this. So we have this project here. Let's go back to IntelliJ, and let me open that project. So I will say open project, which project I'm trying to open here. Okay, that's the project. Click on trust. Yes, this window, it will replace the old project. And okay, I don't know why it's giving some error. There is something wrong with this. Maybe there is a network issue or something. Ignore that. So as of now, we got our project and you can see it is downloading the dependencies. And the only dependency we have mentioned till now is the Spring Web Starter, right? It is downloading the dependency. I don't think there should be any error. Okay, there's something wrong with my internet today, so it might take some time. Okay, by the time it is happening, we will need one more dependency. Now, why we need dependencies? Because we have to connect to the Astra server, right? Now, to do that, let's go back to MVN repository. And this is where we have to search for DataStax Astra driver, no, the Java driver. So we'll get this one here. Which version looks good? Okay, I will go for this one. I always go for the second last version because that's almost stable. So copy this and go back and we'll paste it here after Spring. Done. So we have added a dependency as well, and it says, download this to help you in indexing time. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, it's downloading the plugin as well. It will take some time. And there are some errors for the plugins. Okay, build done. I think there's still some errors for the plugin. Let me just refresh this. I think there's some internet issue again. Okay, so it has downloaded all the dependencies, but there's still some error. In fact, there's one error which is with the plugin, but I'm not sure what went wrong there. And it's not even showing to reload option here. Everything looks good on this side. So let's continue with this. I don't think there should be any issue. So what we'll do now is we'll go back to the project and you can see we have all the dependencies downloaded, and then we also got the DataStax dependency here. I mean, of course, you will find it somewhere, right? Okay, that's here. And then if you go back to the SRC, of course, with every Spring Boot project, what you get is this file, right? Which is the main file. And just to test it if everything is working, right click this and say run. And it should work. It is working. So you can see the Tomcat server is up and running with the port number 8080. And how to verify this? I will be using a different browser this time. And here, oh, okay, this is the first time I'm using this. Not a big fan of Edge, but let's use it. So here I will say localhost :8080 just to see the port numbers. enter. Okay, something is happening, right? At least you got an error which is from the Tomcat. So that means Tomcat is running and it is giving you the error which is 404. That means page not found because we have not done anything yet. Okay, that's one. So basically we have an application for using which you can at least fetch data. The next thing is, if you want to connect to the DataStax Astra, you need to say connect, right? There should be some token using which you can connect, right? And that's where you need to find a driver. So you can see connect using a driver, and we are looking for a Java driver. Click on that. So the step says the first thing you do is you download the bundle. Okay, this is where you have all the security files. I will click on this and click on this. It will download the file. So you can see we have the download file downloaded and it goes into download. So that's the path we will be needing. Next, it says you have to download and install Maven. Yes, in my machine, I do have Maven installed. You have to also make sure that if you're downloading the zip file, you have to set the environment variable path. And I've done that in my machine. The next thing it says you need an application token. For read-only users, maybe I will use a read-write user. And then you also need to get this driver, and we have done that. So this step is done. We just need to create a token. And what else we need? Okay, so let's generate a token first, just to see. So I will click on this. It will ask me to generate a token. And here we go. I will do it for the read-write user. Of course, you can go do it for the read only as well, just to be on the safe side. Now, once I got this detail, of course, I can just copy paste individually, or I can click on download token details. So you got your CSV file there. And yes, so once we have this token ready, the next step is what we are missing. The next thing is you need to have some statements, right? Of course, you cannot by heart this. So what I will do is I can just copy paste this code and let's save this in our machine. Of course, I will customize this for our requirement. So I will say copy. I will go back to my IntelliJ IDEA and here, let me create a new Java class. I will say this is connect database, done. And this is where I will paste that code. Okay, that's it. Using this code, you can actually connect with the server. And you can see it says you need to create a session, the SQL session. And for that, you need to pass the token. So this is your token. This is where you have your token details, right? And then it will also ask you for the client ID and client secret, which I'm going to paste here. And what else? Okay, so we have to fire a query. So we'll see this. But then even before running this, we have to change this thing, right? We have to specify the path where you have this file. And I will say cut. Okay, where do I have this file? Of course, I can just copy paste the file and put it here. Or I can specify the path. Did I got the path? No, it says download. Okay, I got the path copied and this is where we are storing it, right? So that's the path. Of course, this is the absolute path that I'm using. You can also use relative path if you know the path. And yes, and the next thing we have to mention is the client ID. Okay, let me just get the client ID. So the client ID is the first one. This is my client ID. I will copy this and paste it here. The next thing we have to mention is the client secret. This big string here, which goes till... Okay, so this is a big string which I'm going to copy as a client secret. Copy and paste it here. That's my client secret key. Okay, that's done. Okay, so we got two things. We got the client ID and we got a client secret. Okay, what else we need? Next thing I want is to fire this query. Now, what query I want? I want the value. Select value from, so we have to specify the key space, which is Telusko key, if I'm not wrong. And the table name is my gadgets. So I will say my gadgets. That's it. Okay, we got a value and we'll need this from this table. And then here, you can see we have row.getString. This is where I have to mention my value. So I will say value. That's it. That's the column name I'm specifying. Okay, looks good. I will just run this code, just this particular file because it has a main function. So I will right click and say run this particular file. And it should print the, okay, what we are fetching. We are fetching, basically you are fetching all the records, right? It should give me the first record. And you got so many debug information, which we don't need actually. But if you scroll up, you should find some detail. You can see we got ASUS ROG. Now this is the same data in your table, okay? We can also specify the filter here for which key I'm looking for. Right, so this is how you actually connect. But then we have done only with this first step, right? The next step is actually to use this. I mean, we want to get a service, right? The web service. So to do that, what we are going to do is we'll add some controllers and we'll accept the client request. Okay, so let's start with the web service. So what we'll do now is let me create some controllers here. And I will say right click new class, and we'll create a controller. I will name this as a main controller. Of course, even if you say just controller, that works, right? And then this is actually a controller, so we'll specify this. This is a controller, and we need a function, right, which will accept my request. So we have to do the request mapping. I'm just assuming that you know basic Java, but if you don't know, that's completely fine. What we are doing is whenever a client sends a request. Example, when a client is sending a request for the home page, I want to return some value, right? So this is a home page request. So how do I do that? So I will say public string. I want to specify, let's say, get home, or maybe get value as a function, and it will accept some value, right? Because I have to specify something, or maybe we can accept the value later. And I want to return, as of now, I will just return hello, that's it, nothing much, just to see if it is working. And for that, we also need to have request mapping, because you have to specify for which request you are returning data. So I'm responding to the home page request, and that's why I'm just saying slash. There's one more thing. The data here is not actually a page name. This is actually data, so we have to say response body as well. Okay, this should work, I think. Let's go back here. This time we are running the Spring application. So also run. Okay, go back to your browser, refresh. Okay, this is working. You can see when you request for the home page, you got hello. At least something is working, right? Okay, and now we don't want hello, right? We want actual data. But when we want actual data, so if I go back here and if I say, hey, I want the laptop details. So it should return Asus ROG. What if I say I want phone? It should return OnePlus. That's what we want, right? To achieve that, we need to change this. So the request I'm specifying should be very specific. I have to pass the value, right? Whatever value I'm passing. If I'm passing a phone, that data will go into this key, and then we'll accept that in a string format. I will say string key. So whatever data I'm sending from the browser, so this phone, the value phone, will reach to key. And then to actually make it work, you have to use one more annotation, which is path variable. Done. Okay, now once you have this key, in fact, how do we know if this will work? I will just return the key itself to see whatever I'm passing is actually coming back. Okay, stop rerun, go back to the browser, say enter. Okay, you got phone. If I say laptop, you got laptop, right? At least whatever you're sending, you're getting it back. But then we don't want the same data, right? What we want is the data coming from the server, from the database. In order to achieve that, we need to use this class, right? Connect database to request for our file. And then we'll also optimize this code a bit. Of course, not the proper optimization, some slight optimizations. So the first thing we are doing here is we want the object of session, right? So let's copy this and we'll take it outside so that I can use multiple function. Initially, the value would be null. I want to change this function from main to, it should be a function which returns a string, and we'll name this function as get value. And this will accept a key, right? So basically, you will be sending a key and it will return that key to you. Looks good, yes. Okay, now since we are returning the value, we have to return something, right? So that's one thing we have left with. Okay, let me just remove this comment. Okay, but I don't want this connection to be happening every time I say get value. So I can take this out and I can write this in a separate function. I will say public void connect, that should work. And we'll put that code here, and then this thing is already declared, so let's not declare once more. Okay, everything looks good. We don't need this try block as of now, just to remove the comment so that the code will look clean. I know we should write comments, but at this point, I'm not preferring it. Okay, we don't want system.out. I just want return the value. We don't have a string called value, so let's do that. Initially, the value would be null. Okay, and or maybe I will just keep it empty string. Okay, so now instead of printing it on the console, what we should do is we should be getting that in a value variable. So I will say value is equal to, remove this bracket, to the function which it is calling. Now the only thing is, what if the connection is not there? So for the first time, we'll check if the session value is equal to null. In that case, call connect function. So it will not call the connection function multiple times. Simple stuff, right? Okay, I think this should work. We are done with this code, at least. And oh, there's one more issue. Whatever key you're passing, I want to fetch data based on the key which I'm passing. So the where clause is missing here. So I will say where key is equal to, and then we have to pass that with this single double quote stuff, because you have to make sure that whatever data you're passing is in single quote. That's how we do it. Okay, now let's go back to our code, which is the main controller. And if you want to get object, of course, we are missing some layers here. We don't have a service layer. We don't have a DAO layer. We're directly connecting with database. but that's fine for the example here, right? So here I want to create object of connect database. So I will say, I can just put it here, connect database. Of course, I should be using add component, add auto add, but just to keep it simple, again, we are not doing it. I will say DB null, usually it will be null. And let me initialize the object here, or maybe I can just do it here itself, new connect DB, done. And then here we'll say DB dot connect. We don't have to actually say connect, it will happen automatically, right? So we'll say DB dot get value, and then the key which I'm to pass is this key. And whatever value you will be receiving will save that in a value variable, and this is the value. That's it. I think it should work. Let's verify. So I will go back to my Astra DB, rerun this, go back to the browser. So this time we're asking for laptop. Let's hit the request. It might take some time because it is requesting to the server. And you can see we got Asus ROG. And if I say phone, we got OnePlus. And if I say what else we have, mic, you got Shure. So this is how it works, right? So basically whatever you're doing is you are building an application which is deployed on your local machine, and you're trying to fetch data from the server. To do that, you have to follow some steps. The first thing you do is when you go to DataStax Astra, you download this bundle, which has your credentials and stuff, and then you also need to get the token. Where you will get the token, you will get the client ID or client secret. Then you need to get this driver, which is for DataStax Java code driver. And this code, this one line is actually responsible to connect with database, and everything is normal Java, right? I mean, this is also normal Java, but then you have to specify some values, right? Yeah, that's it. That's from the code. Let me just show you the code once more. Of course, you will find this in the comment section, the link for the GitHub for this project. And let me show you the steps. You need to get this driver. Then you need to create this class, which is connect database, which has this session builder. And then using this result set, you can fire the query. I mean, of course, using execute, you can fire the query, you will get the data, and you can return that wherever you want, maybe a REST API or whatever type of application you're building. So that's it from this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comment section and do subscribe for further videos. Bye-bye.